on Friday.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks very much.
My pleasure.
Well, Tom and Paul, construction workers aren't going to be spending much money. It's been boom and then bust for thousands of U.S. construction workers. Since the economy tanked, some have gotten work on government-funded infrastructure projects, but many are jobless. So when Canada came calling for crane operators this week in Illinois, hundreds of prospective workers responded. Diane Esterbrook reports.
In Chicago, construction is in a deep freeze, partly because of the cold weather, but mostly because of the cold economy.
Do not write on the test now. I apologize.
This week at a union training center south of the city, more than 100 crane operators took written exams for possible work in Canada. Then they listened to a jobs pitch from Mammut Crane.
Some are 10-hour shifts, some are 12-hour shifts.
Mammut Field Operations Director Rick Patterson is prospecting for hundreds of workers south of the border because he can't find enough Canadians for 2 refinery projects in Alberta next year.
There's a huge amount of work scheduled in Alberta from about March till early June, and which is somewhat abnormal to have all of that work happen in a single window.
Travis Love came to test and interview. He needs work and would head north reluctantly.
I'm an adventurer. I'm not intimidated other than the fact that I have a soft spot for my 2 young boys, and I don't want to leave them.
The unemployment rate in Illinois right now is around 11%, but unions say it's more than double that for many workers in the building trades. A few years ago, condo construction in Chicago and wind farm projects in rural areas provided nearly nonstop work for crane operators, but those jobs have dried up. Some members of the International Union of Operating Engineers have been honing their skills at this local training facility while they wait for work. But union president and business manager Jim Sweeney says finding work close to home could take months.
It's very scary for the construction industry. We're the first that people, when there's a contraction, the first thing you do is you stop building. And the last thing you do is start building. So we see this worse than any other industry.
Morning. Morning. How you doing today?
That uncertainty is why veteran crane operator Tom Weil is considering work in Canada.
The only thing we have presently going right now is possibly some hospital work and certainly some of the windmill work out there that we're trying to develop, but that's in its infancy right now. We can only put X amount of people to work with that.
Mammut says it's possible crane operators like Weil could find even more work in Canada that could keep them on the job until things improve back home. Diane